Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this special Women's Day session hosted by Ethika. Today, we celebrate the incredible contribution of women to our society, economy, and workplace. This session is not just a celebration, but also a call to action, a reminder of the immense potential we hold when we empower women to thrive. We are privileged to have Ruchita Tandon, the Chief Growth Officer at Aspire for Her, with us today. Ruchita is a visionary leader who has dedicated her career to empowering women and bridging the gender and the talent gap in the workforce. With her leadership, she has built powerful communities of women, built key partnership with organizations like AWS, LinkedIn, Mintra, and the US Consulate, and spearheaded initiatives like the Women on Boards program and the mentorship platform at Asper for Her. Her work has been recognized globally, and she is a recent recipient of the Empower Her Access 2024 Model of the Year award for her remarkable contribution to community engagement. Today, Ruchita will take it to her journey to becoming a CXO, share inspiring stories of transformation, and show us how we can collectively create a future where women not only enter but also thrive in the workforce. Please join me in welcoming Ruchita Tandon. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, Ritu. Good afternoon, everyone, and a happy International Women's Day to all. Thank you so much for the kind introduction, Ritu, and thank you, Shiva, for having me on board today. I see people are still joining in. Before that, would any of you like to use the chat box? Introduce yourself. Where are you from? What is it that you're looking at? It would be great to have some interactions in the group. And I would request you to use the chat box as much as possible to make it interactive and knowledgeable for everyone. I hope I'm audible also. Okay, anybody who wants to start with any message? Let's take half a minute over here if anybody wants to introduce themselves. Because this is all done virtually, maybe you're joining us from different parts of the country, you might want to introduce, or you want to talk about the organization that you're coming from. Oh, Karen, you've joined from the UK. Welcome. That must be pretty early for you in the morning. Okay, we have Karen there. Thank you so much for initiating the talk. Okay, Vishram is from Maharashtra. Oh, it's 10 a.m. Fantastic. Okay, I have Anuradha is from Triple IT Hyderabad. Ritu is from Hyderabad. Okay. I'm here to understand. Okay, Sujani, I'm waiting to see that full sentence. Ritu, tell me when we have another 5 to 10 seconds, and then I will move on to my presentation in the interest of time. Okay, I think I'll start. And before I start, my apologies in case I have connectivity issues. I'm out at a client location because I was supposed to be here for IWD, and there are a lot of firewalls, and there is a possibility that I might just miss out a few things, or you might not be able to see me. Before that, Ritu, if you see any comments that are coming in, because I'm hosting it here, do let me know. You can unmute and let me know about anything. Okay, so once again, International Women's Day 2025. I'm Ruchita Tandon. I am the Chief Growth Officer of an organization called as Aspire for Her. What is Aspire for Her? Aspire for Her is a startup with a clear mission and vision of having 1 million women in the workforce additionally by 2025. We do it using the power of communities and networks. And our mission is not only to get women into the workforce, but also stay there. I'll come a little bit more about Aspire for Her a little later. But would you like to take a stab and mention in the chat box, what do you mean by accelerate action? Okay, I can't see this over here. I'll have to go down a little bit. Okay, I will not be able to see. So maybe Ritu, you will have to unmute and then tell me what are the interactions in the chat box.
Sure, ma'am.
What
We'll do that, ma'am. We have no responses so far.
Okay, no responses. This is your day, and hence it's very important that you interact because you are going to be taking away some of the key takeaways from the session. Okay, let me start. Accelerate action. So I don't know how many of you follow economics and how many of you follow statistics, but today, with the kind of opportunities that women have, if we are looking at having equal opportunities between men and women, ideally it's going to take 130 plus years to achieve equality. Now, is that the rate at which we are looking at growing? No, certainly not. We've been talking about diversity. We've been talking about initiatives of diversity. This year, it is about accelerate action. And accelerate action, the IWD theme is always given by UN Women, where they've clearly mentioned that it's been enough that we've been talking about it. Today, you've got to decide, pen down, and then work on it and get the action going. With that, I'm going to start. Okay, Ritu, I'm not sure if there is a poll at this stage. Yes, I think there is a poll. And I'd like to know, it's a very simple poll. Ritu, please share the poll. Okay,
Shared.
I just want to know, are you an early career professional, or emerging professional, or a senior leader? Early career professional is up to 5 years of experience, emerging professional is 5 to 15, and a senior leader is 15 plus, if that helps you identify yourself. So I see it's a mix of both and more of definitely in the emerging professional section, followed by early career and senior leaders at the same. I think we can end the poll. This was for me to just know the kind of audience since we are all logging in virtually. Okay. Let's talk something about the $1 trillion opportunity. Again, all my facts are based on certain numbers. And we all know that today, India is actually close to a 4 trillion economy. We are at 2025. It is the Prime Minister's vision that we grow to a 5 trillion economy by 2027. How do we do that? It's a very simple report which McKinsey has brought about, which says that by providing equal opportunities to women in the workforce in India, we can add $770 billion to the Indian economy. And that gets us to the 5 trillion by Prime Minister Modi for 2027. In a country like India, where you have 50% of the population being women, do you think that this is actually a difficult task? The answer is certainly it's not difficult with the kind of population that we have. But there are a lot of barriers that women face. And hence, that's exactly the reason what we're going to talk about in the next coming of slides and how do we overcome those. It's all from my own personal journey, and we will move on to that. Okay. Now, let me move to the next. I will come back to this slide. But first, I want you to use the chat box. And again, Ritu, you've got to help me. You're my eyes over here as well as my ears. There are 146 countries that actually participate in something called as the Gender Gap Index report. And out of those 46 countries, India holds a rank. And this rank, I'm asking you in terms of the number of women who come in the workforce economy, that is women in the workforce. So where do you think India lies in a list of 146 countries in terms of the economic participation of women? And you can put in any number that you like. It's a rank, not much to think about. Where do you think your country is? Any answers in the chat box?
Not it, ma'am. 100,
Oh,
Kartika.
come on,
Seven.
folks. You should take a chance. I can't even see you all, and all of you all are, this is
So
a
we have
webinar
2578.
78.
70, 70, 70, 78.
70. Okay,
Yeah.
2500. We have 146 countries. So you've got to choose a number between 0 to 146.
We have
That's good.
26th, another 70.
Any more? Or are we still in that range?
No, if I may participate somewhere in the hundreds.
Okay, but there's still 46 numbers, Shiva. Let's reveal the facts then. We are fourth from the bottom. And that is 142 over 146. So typically, the global gender gap index is based out of 4 parameters. One is economic with respect to women in the workforce. One is educational. Then we talk about health, and then we talk about politics. Politics, we are poor. Education, we are pretty high. And in health also, we are high. But when it comes to economy, We are very low. And that's why if you see overall also our number is very, very low. And for a country like India, where women in India are some of the brightest and the bestest, I don't think the country deserves to be something like this. We all thought with the kind of women that we are in the country, we would be at a very high, but that's not where we are. Unfortunately, this is unlocking the $1 trillion opportunity for India. Okay, I think we can have the second poll now, Ritu. And this is a poll. I just want to understand the audience. No, this is, I think, poll 3, Ritu. It was on the women entrepreneurs. Maybe we'll come to it a little later then. Let me just move ahead.
Ritu,
No.
can you put poll 5?
I have a general question for all of you. How many of you intentionally shop from women entrepreneurs? Okay, I see out of 6, only 1 of them is doing it. And please participate. I genuinely want, because we're talking about women and we are talking about a community of women. You are part of it. And until you participate, the change cannot come in. Okay. So it's almost a 50-50 is what I can see. 50% of you do shop, 50% of you intentionally don't shop. And while I come to this answer a little later, I will move on to the next one, but we will talk about women entrepreneurs very shortly. I think, Ritu, you can end the poll and I'll move on to the next slide. Okay. How many of you have actually seen a movie which is currently making a lot of headway? And this is the movie which is Mrs. And Shiva, if I may request you to just play it, I'll stop sharing and then we can play it.
Shall we play, ma'am?
Yes.
वाईफाई पासवर्ड
A1 B2 C3 D4 E5 F6
लो जी लग गया कनेक्शन वेलकम टू द फैमिली अब आप हमारी बेटी हो
मुबारक सफर
घर कैसा लगा
अच्छा
और घर वाला
मम्मी जी प्याज फूड प्रोसेसर में ग्राइंड कर दूं?
रहने दो। तुम्हारे पापा जी को चटनी भी सिलबट्टे की चाहिए।
तुम्हारी सास कह रही थी कि खाना बनाते वक्त तुम्हें चुगने की आदत है।
सब्जी काटने के साइज से उसके स्वाद का पता लगता है।
मम्मी हल्दी दही में डालनी है या तड़के में? कैसा बना?
नमक कम है
हेल्प नहीं है मम्मा कोई। दिवाकर काम से आके थक जाते हैं और यहाँ काम खत्म ही नहीं होता।
ये सब तो सीखना पड़ेगा ना रिचू।
हो गया
अभी वो बर्तन बचे हैं।
बहू को घर संभालना तो सिखाना पड़ेगा ना कम से कम उसको डस्टिंग तो अच्छी तरह करने के लिए कह दीजिए
रिचा बेटा रिचू
ला रही हूँ।
कोई पैशन तो हमारी रिचा को भी बहुत है
मैं डांसर हूँ।
बॉबी को जॉब कौन बनाता है
मेरा खुद का डांस ट्रूप भी है।
जॉब के लिए तो मैंने मना किया था ना बेटा बेटा आपकी मम्मी ने PhD की है मगर घर और बच्चे फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी रहे
मैंने बोला था ना वीडियो डिलीट करने को
पुराने वीडियोस को दिखाते
इस घर में रहना है तो उसके रूल्स फॉलो करने पड़ेंगे
Okay, that's it. Thank you so much. Okay, there was a reason for playing the trailer, and how many of you have seen the movie? Do you have any comments in the chat box? And I've kept my presentation closed for a minute so that I can actually see if each of you have any comments. Do some of you associate your life with it? Do some of you think you've broken from that glass ceiling? Do you want to use the chat box? There is nobody over here to judge. So feel free to be a part of the conversation. It's for the benefit of everyone.
Just in case if somebody wants to chat with Ruchita ma'am, or you want your videos to be on, you can raise your hand. I can bring you to the panel and you can speak to us directly.
Okay, Priyanka, you don't want to watch the movie, fair enough. You don't resonate with what it is shown, that's fine. Okay. Okay, Karen, fair enough. You haven't seen the film. Anybody else? Okay, Gauri, you have watched. What are your comments on the movie? What's portrayed? Okay, so I'll just come in over here. The life of a woman that is portrayed. Absolutely, Swati, you said it right. It is still the reality of many Indian households. And when even I saw it, I was very shocked. And I felt that this is actually where in India we still have these practices. And then we had a big argument within the colleagues, and they said, this is a reality for many women. And we are actually privileged not to face this. There are so many women who could not continue with their passion. There are so many who wanted to be financially independent, but they could not. Kartika, we have support from our spouse. I agree. And still we have a lot of mental load. Absolutely, Kartika, you've hit the nail right. And this is a movie which is, while, it is depicting about some of the challenges that, women face, but you take some time to break that ceiling. It is about resilience. It is about continuing to dream your passion, and it is about taking that path. I agree. She could have walked off earlier from it. She took some time. She probably had some thoughts, but in the end, she has followed her dream and she has followed her passion. That's it. And I'll also tell you one thing. I personally know Aarti very well. And one of the comments that I heard, I actually came across with with one of the actors, Kavaljit, is that he portrayed the character in the movie. And even when he portrayed the character, he didn't realize what he, as a character or as a father-in-law, expected the daughter-in-law to do until he saw the movie. So that's where the movie has gone and hit a lot of people, not because of what a woman was supposed to be doing or is expected to be doing, but the way she broke all of that. So with that, I'll come back to my slides. Okay. Okay. Now, what do you think? And we talked about having more women in the workforce, giving them equal opportunities. Let's look at some of, the advantages, or I would say the positivities of having more women in the workforce. Unfortunately, in this system, I cannot see what you all are going to do. So I'm going to be just talking about it. Of course, we are talking about improved family well-being and enhanced financial performance. The moment a woman starts earning, she is also financially independent. By financially independent, she takes control of her finances. She has the power to spend her money on what she wants without being questioned. I agree there are certain houses where these questions might come, but I'm just talking on a general. We'll not get into the details of it, but we'll look at how, in a balanced way, we are talking about more women in the workforce can add to the families. When we say the woman of the house actually is educated, she makes sure that her entire family also is educated. She is bothered about her kids' education. She definitely makes sure that they also get educated and they go well in education, because it's education that takes them far. Expanded consumer base and increased innovation and creativity. Women, okay, let me ask this question to you. What do you think are some of the best traits of women? And I've opened my chat box on the side. So what do you think as a woman are some of the qualities that you possess? Let's hear it in the chat box. Okay, I see a hand raised, and maybe you would like to use the chat box. Shiva, how is it? Can they use the audio or they've got to use the chat box?
They can use the audio, ma'am. I don't see the hand raised now.
Sure. Okay. Would anybody like to talk about some of the qualities of women? Let me start with one to open it up for you all. Courage and compassion.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Confidence, non-judgmental, understanding, compassionate, multi-talented. Absolutely right, Anuradha. They are multitasking also. Yes, handling many responsibilities. Absolutely, they are multitasking. So women, as part of their DNA, are generally very, very compassionate. They are very understanding. And some of the things that they do is, see, they've been part of nurturing a family, caregiving. They do have empathy. They do have, they're working with their closed ones. They are always trying to manage their time. They're trying to do their best. They can switch from one job to the other. They are highly adaptable based on the situations that is there. So in general, women have a lot of inbuilt qualities. And hence, because of their nature, they attract a lot of they have a lot of good behavior, and that's how they attract people. So when I talk of an expanded consumer base, today the majority of the segment that is actually in terms of a consumer is all women based, and hence who else but a woman can answer their queries the best. Women also have they are normally very, very respectful, they talk well, and hence they become an ideal choice for, uh, for any organization to have. If you look at the hospitality industry, how many of women are you seeing over there? Because they have a pleasant personality, they appeal to everybody, they are warm, they're respectful. Similarly, if you look at the airlines, typically you find women who are the air hostess. Some time back, I had a conversation with Mintra, and Mintra was very, very passionate of looking at women who are now going to be switching or either building careers in e-commerce. And then it actually got me to thinking that why are they really so passionate about getting more women in the space? And I realized that how many of you actually at even this point in time have something in your Mintra cart at the moment? Majority of the consumers are women. And if the majority of the consumers are women, it is imperative that the people who are designing the platform, understanding the psychology of fashion or any of the apparel or the accessories or the pricing or the age group which it has to attract are women. And hence, organizations are looking at having more women into their workforce in specific domains. I'll give you an example of AI. Are any of you in technology, in AI, or experts over there? Would anybody like to just mention? Okay, Sujani. Okay, Karen, you're not an expert though, that's fine. Anybody else? Do you all realize the importance of AI in today's world? Everybody needs AI. AI is now as at an intersection of any of the domains that you're talking, whether you're talking of commerce, whether you're talking of legal, whether you're talking of medical. Did you ever think that even a surgeon needs to start working with AI, has to program his tool for the right precision for the surgery? And then AI happens to be a brand new field. And what happens in a brand new field? There is no discrimination in gender because it is a skill set which everybody has to develop new. Again, all your these chatbot, all your chat GPTs, all your Geminis, primarily, if you see, a lot of women have said that when you ask specific questions, it only throws up men. And the problem with such platforms is because men have designed it, they cannot get the thought of a woman into it. That's the reason why, if you look at Microsoft, if you look at AWS, they have pledged to train women in AI for the very simple reason because the platform has to take care of, has to be inclusive of all the members who are logging into it and looking out for help. So that's in general. Women are definitely very, very creative. They are innovative. We talked sometime about women entrepreneurs. And would any of you actually like to talk about women entrepreneurs? Why do you think women entrepreneurs are very, very important for the system? I'm talking of innovation and creativity, and I'm talking of entrepreneurship. And why those who intentionally shop from women entrepreneurs intentionally do that? Do you have a reason for it, or it's just that you like the products, or what is it? To encourage women, to support. Fantastic. It contributes upliftment of women, family, and society. Exactly. And I'll tell you one more big thing. Only a woman can understand the other woman properly and cater to her needs. Absolutely, Himani, all of you are bang on right. So with women, I can tell you one thing. Today, when I talk about women in the workforce, and I'm talking in terms of the economic participation of women in the workforce, let me tell you that in India, women entrepreneurs contribute to only 2%, 3% of the GDP. And that's really, really small. The problem is most of the women in India tend to be micro and nano entrepreneurs. We've got to help them scale. We've got to help them look at a bigger picture. It's not just about serving your society or the nearby areas. They are scared of technology. They are scared of expanding. They are scared of investing. But the one thing that a woman entrepreneur can do, and that's beyond everything, is she is a job creator. And by job creator, as she grows, she needs a support system. That's when she can get more women into the workforce. Whether she gets a woman on a career break, whether she looks at college students and gives them internship, that's totally up to her. But that's how she's going to increase the GDP of the country. And hence, I myself make it, for myself, I decided that I am going to shop only from women entrepreneurs. At Aspire for Her, we fondly call them entreprenari. So now I'll come to a little bit about Aspire for Her and the organization that I work. I mentioned before, we do it using the power of communities and networks. So what are communities? Anybody would like to take a stance at what a community is? Are you a part of any community? Okay, anybody? Yeah, it's a group of people working towards a collective goal. I like what Sujani said, like-minded people. So communities of women are nothing but women who tend to inspire, motivate, and elevate each other. And that is nothing but your safe space. And what does this safe space do? This space is this safe space pushes you to go beyond your regular 9 to 5 job. It helps you promote yourself. It gives you a supporting hand. It helps you to share your problems. It helps you to take part in your happiness, celebrate, and build that safe space around you. Absolutely. So that is what we talk about communities. Okay, I'll move on. And if you have any questions, so let's look at what the journey of a woman is. And just look at the stats that I have put along with it. Girls in school, today, if you go and look at the stats, when it comes to school level, we have a 79.4, almost close to 80% is the number of girls going to school. When they reach college, we have certain dropouts. And everywhere in this journey, you see there are dropouts. So the enrollment for girls, it reduces down to 48. From college, everybody has high aspirations, getting into a career, they get into jobs. A few of them get into entrepreneurship. There are very few who get into entrepreneurship. So if you look at the earlier career professionals, we are at 33%. Now, I'll come back to this. If you see, there is an arrow which comes here. There is a bucket over here which forms primarily 70%. And there is a small percentage which goes forward to become a woman leader, which is currently at 18%. And a woman leader, typically we are talking of 15, 20 years of experience. And after that, she comes to a C-suite level. You start at 80% and you've come down to 15%. And then there is a 70% where you see the arrow comes back towards college. Who would like to try what is this block? These are all different communities of women. So girls in school, primary, they are still moving. Academic professionals. So academic professionals, Sharmila, is the early career professionals. You are absolutely right. These are the number of women who actually go on a break. But if you look at them, they are all educated. However, there are 3 M's of life which actually which prevent them from going forward. A lot of you would have also experienced it, but are still here. Would you like to take a stab at the 3 M's that are there? Who would like to put in the 3 M's? Anybody? Motherhood, maternity, marriage, maternity, and mobility. Mobility is the 3rd M. which means you get married and you leave the place because your husband is posted somewhere else. These are primarily the reasons because of which women tend to drop out from the workforce. And when they try to come back after they think they are ready, where they actually come is going to be a drop many, many years. They drop down to many years before, almost as an intern, as most of the organizations take them as an intern. So that is where we are in terms of the journey of a woman. And have any of you gone beyond the 3Ms? I don't know in the target audience, but would anybody like to share a little bit of their journey at this stage, or should I move forward?
If you'd like to share your journey, please raise your hand. I can bring you to the panel so that you can unmute yourself and also switch on your video.
So the reason I'm asking you to share your journey is because you never know, it could be an inspiration to someone. Okay, looks like everybody is feeling shy. Never mind, Ritu, you can launch the third poll before we move on, and let's see what are some of the challenges if nobody wants to use. Okay, what according to you are the biggest challenges at your workplace? Unconscious bias, pay parity, comparisons, self-limiting beliefs, others. Some of these are self-created, some of these are situational, but let's see what are some of the best ways in which we can tackle all of this. Okay, if everybody is done, I'll end the poll, which I also see that there are self-limiting beliefs, and this primarily is on you yourself. Let me go forward. Okay. Okay, how many of you have heard about Leena Nair? Do you know who Leena Nair is? Unfortunately, because I'm at the client, I'm not able to showcase these videos, and hence I'm going to request Shiva, at least for the Leena Nair one, he's going to put it in the chat box, and I will urge each and every one of you in your free time. It's slightly long, it's about 40 minutes. I would request you all to definitely see it. Okay, let me come to you. Leena Nair came from a very, very humble background, from a small town in Maharashtra, which is called as Kolhapur. She happened to be the first graduate from her hometown, the first girl to study engineering in her family. She decided to go and do MBA, and she managed to get into one of the best institutes in the country, which is XLRI Jamshedpur. From campus, she made it to Hindustan Unilever Limited. She happened to be the first woman to work in night shifts at the factory floor at Hindustan Unilever. She then made it to the first woman leader at Hindustan Unilever, who happens to then become also the youngest woman leader in HR at Hindustan Unilever. Not just that, she had a couple of more firsts. She is an Indian, and she happened to be the first woman on color who also happened to be on the global CEO. Actually, she's not the global HR, but she is the global CEO of a fashion brand, which is Chanel. And that's the journey of this girl, Leena Nair. It's a very, very inspirational video. And I'm going to urge all of you to see it. There's a lot to learn from it. I personally learn a lot from some of her videos. And if you hear what she has to say, well, of course, there were some of the firsts that she had. But coming from a small town, how did she actually get insights into a career? Because her mother was not working. She didn't have role models who were at home. She had to look outside for role models. She obviously went into mentorship. Because she was the only woman on the factory floor at Hindustan Unilever, she also decided that as soon as she grew in her career and when she came into decision-making roles, she ensured that there are more women into Hindustan Unilever across all levels. But that was not enough. As most of you said, there are a lot of self-limiting beliefs. And she had to push the women to look at a career, because a career is not just a marathon, but it's a sprint. You've got to be there in the long run. She had to push the women. She had to talk to the men and get them by her side. And then she had to get a cultural change in the organization. And that is how, when we today look up to Hindustan Unilever, let me tell you, they are at equal diversity ratio, which is 50-50. One of the rare organizations which is into manufacturing and still holds 50-50%. Not only that, if you ever work with Hindustan Unilever as a vendor, you are also onboarded there if As a vendor also, you have 50% diversity in your team. And those are some of the rules that Hindustan Unilever has kept very strict, very rigid, yet everybody wants to work with them. So that was about it. Let me move forward. I've got three women, and each of them come with a different background. Now at Aspire for Her, I told you we do it using the power of communities and networks, and these are real stories. These are stories of women in the community. These are stories, I have put it correct, from challenges to champions. Let's talk about Preeti Kate. Preeti Kate joined the community. She joined a community of ours, which was called as Not Alone. And Not Alone was a community we started in the second wave of COVID because we realized a lot of women lost their primary breadwinners and they did not know where to go. They did not know where to go and pay the husband bills. They had no financial independence and they were not in any kind of a job. For us, our mission is very clear. Either employment or entrepreneurship is what we are looking at. Preeti Kate learned the skills of running abacus classes. She started from her house. She started with 10 students, made it to 60. And today she's also won some of the awards. Her husband worked for Bayer and she decided to then come on LinkedIn. She's connected with all her husband's colleagues. Today, from her small hometown, she not only runs her own business, but she has also helped a lot of women in her small town to do entrepreneurship, pick up more abacus classes, and that's how she is empowering women after she got empowered. The second is the story of a young girl, Sanjana, from the community. Sanjana reached out to me only from the sheer fact that she was badly in need of a laptop. She was pursuing a diploma course and she wanted to study further. She didn't have a laptop. That's how she connected. She said, my mother is a household help, but I definitely want to study. And the first barrier is a laptop. My founder is very, very generous and she had her old laptop. And with that, we couriered it to Sanjana one fine day and there started her journey. And what did Sanjana do? Sanjana decided to take some mentorship. It so happened that the mentor whom she chose, who not only helped her in the journey, but also helped her financially, because the mentor was so impressed with Sanjana's thirst for going beyond barriers and for touching new heights. So the mentor helped her financially. Sanjana got into an engineering college after she finished her diploma. She was a bright student. She started doing some small internships only so that she could make money to take care of her hostel fees. She did, whoever I have recommended Sanjana to have always told, I have given very good feedback about her. And then one fine day, I get a message from Sanjana that she's got a college placement. And where did she get? She got it into a MNC, which was Amp Docs. Not just that, soon after, she had her own resilience, her own power. Today, she is a successful employee of Flipkart. And this is the story of Sanjana. Absolute resilience, never ever give up, try to rise above all odds. And now I'm coming to the third story, which is Priya. Priya had about 7 years of a career gap. And she really didn't know how to navigate further. She decided she wanted to come back. And then COVID came in. We started a community with AWS where we were looking at upskilling women on a career break. Priya was fortunate enough to make it actually to the cohort where we were looking at returnees who were trying to upskill themselves. For 3 months, she was part of the cohort and she was really, really keen on coming back. She said, come what may, I have to finish the course. She started studying. There were practicals. She formed groups for study. It was not easy for her. The reason being, prior to her break, Priya happened to be teaching in a college. So she actually had never been working while she was a MTech. With that started her journey of then coming to interviews and giving interviews. A lot of organizations came forward to hire the women with cloud skills. Priya applied to them. Somewhere she was rejected, somewhere she was accepted. The bigger question that came in was that, of course, as I mentioned to all of you, when you come back, she had to go as an intern. Of course, the salary was definitely less than what she was earning or almost at par. And the third problem that she faced was, even as an intern, she was supposed to work in night shifts. These were rotational shifts. While a lot of women were debating that how do I go forward, how do I take, Priya immediately grasped onto the opportunity. She said, this is an opportunity and I will not let go of it because there is an employer who has opened the doors to me. Not only that, Priya was able to convince the other women of the community who had got the offers but decided not to go ahead only because these were rotational shifts. And that's how today, at 3 years, Priya is successfully working in an organization that is Capgemini. She also happened to get the award for the best employee in the very first year. Not just Priya, but Sanjana, Preeti. These are some stories of pride that I really take in sharing their stories. These are stories of real grit, determination, and of never ever giving up. And that is what these champions are bringing out. No matter you are at what stage in your journey, these are some of the qualities that you need. Easy or tough, but you've got to have it. Okay. So I have come now to a very simple thing. I'm talking of a mindset shift, which I'm talking as a game change. And what is a mindset shift? My left side is nothing but impact. And impact for me is employment, entrepreneurship, and education that leads to either employment or entrepreneurship. But for my left side, what you see on the right side, M, C, C, and C are the critical factors that lead to the impact. The first is mentors and role models. Today, and when I talk to you the story of Leena Nair, it's not just with Leena Nair, but it's with so many women. They do not have successful and relatable role models at home. Now, what do the role models do? They are right in front of you as an inspiration to you. They also push you to go beyond your boundaries. So if you reach a stage where you really don't know in life to go forward, to go back, what is the direction you need, you should invest in a mentor. By invest in a mentor, I'm not saying that you need to pay money, but you need to find a mentor who is going to help you navigate your journey. And why are they able to do that? Because they have been through these stages in life at some time or the other. Courses, cohorts, and learning comes from the simple fact. You need to skill, upskill, and reskill yourself for the jobs of tomorrow. Of course, I'm talking of career previews and resources. The reason is very simple, because if she can see it, she can be it. Today, when you look at a CEO, you're only looking at her. But if you look at her life journey, that's how you're going to associate with it. It was not easy for anyone. Hard work. There is no shortcut to hard work. Success comes only after that. And of course, a community support where they can tend to go on women, rely on them, and support them. I have a short video over here to share. And of course, what you see in the picture is me. The left side, you can see me with a visiting card. On the right side, also, you can see me with a visiting card. But there is a story to it, and I'll request Ritu to share it.
Tear me apart. I don't care if you do. 'Cause in the sky full of stars, I think I saw you.
Okay, so that was actually my video. And yes, I have a break of 22 years in my life. When I started in college, I definitely was a bright student. I made it to the so-called Vodafone Idea today. I was the first woman engineer on the floor. And I got married. I totally forgot about it. And then I realized only after late that it was, wow, 22 years. And if it had not been for COVID, I would have never realized that I had this break. With that, I asked a friend of mine, how do I start? And she introduced me to an organization, Aspire for Her, which was very, very small. And I came in as a volunteer, not knowing what I'm going to do. But things were absolutely different. I started from a time when I probably didn't even know how to get onto Zoom. And that's where I started my journey. I had to not just, I had done all of this long time back. So I had to reskill, upskill for the jobs of tomorrow. I decided to work on my strengths. I had to work on my weaknesses, but I focused on my strengths. And from that, when you look at both the pictures, and I'm going to come back to both the pictures, the one that you see on the left side is when I met my founder for the first time, and that's my visiting card, which is after 22 years. And what you see in the center is when I got promoted to a CXO in 2.5 years from when I started and became the Chief Growth Officer. And these are just two photographs, but the journey behind it is tried to capture in the video. It is a story of grit, determination, resilience. It is about grabbing the opportunities. Opportunities don't knock and come. You've got to find what is the opportunity. You've got to be there at the right time. You've got to understand how to grasp it. You've got to show how you are the right person who fits into that opportunity. And that's what changes the entire metrics. Some of the things that I thought and what helped me at this stage. So I'm going to start with the last, which is value-based impact. For every project of mine, I knew what is the impact and the outcome that I'm looking at, and I started working backwards. Proactive problem solving. People come and talk about problems. How many of you actually talk about solutions? And that is what you need to get to the table. Teamwork and collaboration. It can't be always I doing something. You have to do teamwork. A team is there to support you. A team is there to push you forward. A team is there to get diverse ideas together to collaborate and move forward. And all the projects that I have worked, I have emphasized on always teamwork and collaboration. You grow and your team grows with you. Your team grows and you grow. That's the way it is. And of course, self-discipline and accountability. There are certain things you've got to be disciplined about. There are certain ethics that you follow. There are certain things. I've taken a lot of risks in a couple of projects. Of course, are all successful? There are a few failures, but what happens when they fail? You learn from it. Secondly, you've got to be open enough to admit that, yes, it was your mistake or you did not know. I have realized the moment you're honest with your own self, people automatically get attracted to you. And this is one of the things that I have never hid away from, even when I was when I came back after a break and I didn't have the skills, I had the courage to admit that I did not know it because of my break. And these are some of the things. You've got to be authentic and true to yourself, and you will automatically find people in your network grow, surround you, respect you for what you are. Of course, each things are not always the same. There are a lot of shifts at the workplace, and you've got to change with times. You've got to be open to feedback, positive or negative. Both of them help. While of course, positive makes you feel very good, but it is these negative feedback which makes you work, think more about a project, think of the loopholes, and think how you can make it a better success. A lot of you, sometimes you might just lose the job and you don't know what to do at that time. You've got to be able to understand which are your transferable skills, which are the skills that can help you either give you a gig job immediately or you're looking at a full time, but get into something and let not that take over all your mind and your happiness. But you've got to plan for it. And of course, you've got to develop a learning mindset. Industry is changing. AI has intervened into everything. What is going to come tomorrow, we don't know. But at times, you have to upskill yourself. At times, you have to unlearn and then learn again. At times, you have to learn and grow. And you really don't know what it is. But mindset is the most important thing for women that actually stops them from going forward. Okay. Now, I am going to be finally putting in my mantras, which is, for me, appoint your people champions. That is mentoring. Mentoring happens to be the most important thing because a mentor is standing for you, pushing you beyond your boundaries, telling you about the things which you don't know. So most of you who've talked about self-belief, you've got your self-belief, limiting self-beliefs, I would suggest please go in for mentoring, find a mentor around you, and you will see how your mentor pushes you. I always believe in teamwork. So there's a we before me. It's never a I. How did I build my brand? How many of you actually think of going on LinkedIn and talking about what you do, who you are? As women, we don't do that. But you've got to have both an online and an offline presence. Invest in networking because it is the power of networking that's going to take you to different places. You've got to build your brand. And while I have been a woman who's been on a career break, I've still managed to do that brand of mine by creating it, whether it's a gap of 22 years that people associate me or a CXO with which people associate me, but there is an individuality and a uniqueness that I come with. And you've got to build your power network because these are the people you can lean on to anytime. It's not a rat race. Each one of you has very, very unique properties. You've got your strengths. Of course, everybody's got their weaknesses, but you've got to showcase your strengths. You've got to work on your weakness. Do not compare yourself with anyone. For each and every person, life has a different meaning. I would say a mother gives birth to twins, but both of them are, even though they look identical, they are not. There is a different race in them. And as a mother, I have never compared both my kids. I know their strengths, I know their weakness, and that's exactly for you. And learnability quotient, as I mentioned, which is skill, upskill, and reskill. You've got to unlearn and learn. And this is not just at entry level or mid level, even leaders have to do it. If you hear Leena Nair, after becoming the global CEO, she is now learning French because that's something she realized in order to get going with the ecosystem is something that she would have to do. I think I'm going to now request for the last poll, Ritu, if you could just share that. And then I have a last video, and I don't know, Shiv, if there is time, we can play it or you could put it in the link, but it's a 6-minute video.
If you're okay, we can play it now. They're absolutely fine.
Okay, so you can play it. Let them just put in the last poll.
Yeah,
If
sure.
you are the CEO, what are the changes that you would like to bring about? I see work-life balance, which is going ahead. Okay, it is work-life balance. And while everybody is putting in, I'll also tell you a lot of the work-life balance is actually on you. When you're at work, you've got to be 100% at work. But when you're at home, you've also got to do your responsibilities. You can be at 100% in your work, in your home life also. It's up to you how you balance. You've got to manage your timing. You've got to manage your deliverables. That's all up to you in the best effective way. You need help, ask for it. You're finding a problem, raise your voice, be heard, ask for it. For women, they tend to be shy and not open up, but you are responsible for your own self to quite an extent. Of course, mentorship and sponsorship, I would put, if you've not taken up mentorship, please feel free. You can reach out to me anytime if you want to get mentored, connect with me on LinkedIn, and you can ask for that. That's one of the most important things to navigate in your career and to make sure that you are motivated till the end. I think we can close the poll. And there is a very interesting video that I came across of Priyanka Chopra, and I would like to play it. It's a short 6-minute, but she has emphasized on confidence. And when you look at women on the top and you think, oh, these are very, very confident women. But the fact is that everybody has this problem. You're not the only one facing that problem. Some open it up, some do not. We work with a French company, which is called as Kerastase. And all of you know that Kerastase is a hair care brand. But Kerastase did a global study and they found that it's not just in India, but globally, the biggest challenge women find is confidence. And hence, mentorship is primarily also done to build your confidence. I'm going to leave it at that, but do watch Priyanka's video and I'm sitting right here. Over to you, Shiv.
You know, I don't think people will believe it, but I think it's self-taught. I don't think confidence is something that you are born with. I don't think confidence is, it's a skill set. And I had no confidence growing up. As a child,
And
I
feel
was
free to
extreme.
connect with
I had
me on LinkedIn.
very low
Actually, my last
self-esteem.
slide had the
I was
barcode for
gawky
it,
as a
but you
teenager.
can
I
connect
lived in
with me.
America. I
I'll
was
put my
made to
name
feel
in the
conscious
chat
about
box, and you can do
the
that.
fact that I was Indian.
Are you
That was
playing it,
weird
Shiva?
at that time. And
Sorry, Ritu.
The video is being played, ma'am.
Okay, sure.
not by everyone, but just by like a few bullies in school that hated me. And high school's hard for everyone. But so I was in a very weird sort of teenage place. And when Miss India happened, I'm inherently competitive. I think the fact that I was competitive pushed me to teach myself to be confident. Initially, I faked it till I made it. I was just like, I'm not gonna let anyone see that I'm scared, or I'm not gonna let anyone see that I'm affected. And over time, I realized, like, as a woman, as a girl in this world, if I allow myself to be hurt, or if I allow myself to be affected, that's all I'm going to be.
Do you
And I'm
want
not,
me to
you know,
put the
trying
link
to
in the
say
chat
that
box and play it?
it's
I'll
an
not be able to play it, but I can put the link and you can play it if that's okay.
Ma'am, can't you see the video?
No, you'll have to share screen. I can't see it, and we can't hear it also.
No, Ritu has been sharing screen. I can see it. And the
Oh, you can
audience,
see it? Okay.
yeah,
I don't know
the
why I'm
audience
not able to
also
see
can
it.
see it. Yeah,
Okay.
let's
issue
continue,
that
Ritu.
just women have. It's not easy to be a woman in show business, and especially a woman who's opinionated, especially someone who I'm sort of like, and I wasn't like that from the beginning. I sort of learned. So confidence is something I taught myself over the years. I started becoming okay with who I am. I became the best version of me. And then I sort of said, I'm okay, you know, I'm all right. Even if someone else thinks this, I'm okay. And everyone can do that. People just don't realize it. I was always creative in school, but I didn't know what to do with it. I used to write, I did plays, I would do school, but my aspiration was never to be creative. And now that I found this vocation, I'm producing, I write columns, my creativity comes out in whatever way it can. And I think somehow something guides you. What that is, I don't know. I don't have a name for it. I don't think it's a religion. I don't know if it's God. I don't know what it is. But I think something is bigger than us. And I believe in that. Well, when I became Miss India, I sort of was on strange ground myself, because I was in college, I was studying, and now I'm suddenly Miss World, and I was traveling all over the world, you know, being an ambassador, and suddenly movie offers started coming to me from India, because I think producers thought that it would make business sense to, you know, have Miss World in a movie, and I guess it did. Because in my first or second films, like I won a lot of awards. I didn't think I could act. I just went in there with the idea of, okay, I can learn a new skill set. I may not know what acting is about, but I can learn. So that's how I taught myself. I've never been to film school. I taught my career has been my film school. I've fallen down, I've dusted myself off. I've been okay to fail. I don't like failure. I'll never let the same failure happen to me again, because I learn from it. I like knowledge. I like learning from the people around me. And I don't think anyone reaches a point, no matter how successful you are in life, where you can't learn something new. And I think that sort of got me to where I am. And that's been a big part of my work ethic. I remember when no one wanted to ask me anything. And I get that. I remember when, and I still am, like sometimes there's so many fights that I do, but I remember when nobody wanted to, you know, wanted my opinion. Or I remember when I had to work on, when I was just the side chick to the guy, and I had to work and do small but important, significant parts to prove that I can and I will, and then triumph. So no one can be that. You can't be like, oh, destiny's gonna knock on my door one day. No, it won't. You have to be able to recognize opportunities. Because there'll be a lot of them that come into your life, and once you recognize an opportunity, you have to seize the day and work bloody hard, because there'll be 25 other people who want to do it. I was told that I won it because of confidence, because I asked later. There were so many more beautiful women than me, but of course I was curious. I was like, what was it? And they were like, just you, when you speak, you're just eloquent and confident. And you know, and I was 18, and I realized how important it was I mean, I was Miss World at 18 just because I was confident. So it made me understand that confidence truly is the key to getting ahead in life. If you believe in yourself, the world will believe in you, because perception is reality.
Thank you, Ritu. Ma'am, we're done with the video. Any closing thoughts from your side?
Okay, no. I think the last thing I wanted is that you can put in the chat box, what's the action that you're going to do from today? And this is for yourself. Anybody who'd like to put their thoughts on what are some of their takeaways and what's something that they are going to put into action from today, because that is what Accelerate Action is for. Who'd like to answer first? Be confident. Absolutely, Shikha. Confidence is the key to everything. And you know what? One of the reasons of also how confidence comes is when you know your subject matter well. And that is very important to get into the thick and thin. Learning continuously is the key to leadership. You've got, the moment you know your matter very well, you are just confident. You've got to be honest to yourself. You've got to be authentic. And I'll tell you, nobody can put you down at any stage. And that's when you get even more confident. That's been something that I have been following. And you've got to make yourself heard wherever it is, good, bad, whatever it is. The end goal is that you're all working towards a common goal, which is the organization you're working for. And as long as you can get and add value there, there is nothing that can stop you. This is something that I have learned. Shikha and Neha, thank you for your insights. Anybody else? What is it that you're going to take from today? Today is all about your day. Ritu, what is your takeaway? Okay, I'm asking you.
Never give up.
Fantastic. Never ever give up. You've got to be persistent. You can't do it today, you will do it tomorrow. You keep doing it, there is another opportunity that will open up. Being in senior leadership, many people would ask us who have a career gap. It's okay to take a career gap. I'm absolutely unapologetic about it. I enjoyed my thing. One of the key takeaways is also that you've got to be bold, you've got to be fearless, and you've got to be unapologetic. These are some of the three things in life which I can tell you. This is your stage. This is your time, and this is your story. Because you are going to be the leader and you are going to be creating your own journey from now. That's all that I can say. Thank you so much. Okay, contribute towards the community. Absolutely, you get and you give. This is the key takeaway from me. I shared one of my friend about Aspire for. Oh, thank you. Stay open to new opportunities. Absolutely. And sometimes you will not even know what that opportunity is. Just like for me, I came in only as a volunteer. I didn't realize when I got the opportunity to become an employee. And then one fine day, I got an opportunity to come in as a CXO. And I kept thinking, what's a chief growth officer? What am I going to do about it? And when I kept thinking so much, I actually reached out to a mentor. And I said, I really don't know. Should I take it? Is this the path, career that I have to do? And she said, you should just take what's coming your way. And with that, I moved into a CXO role because I realized later that if my boss has decided to open the position, if it's not me, it's going to be someone else. You've got to seize it at the right time. And if you're confused, ask somebody who's neutral in the system, because they will be able to, give you insights without any beliefs, without any judgments, and so on. I think, Shiva, that's it from my side. Anything more, then do let me know.
Sure. So we'll thank you so much for your thoughts, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing a lot of information with us. We have a small closing note. I would like to request Rita to close the session with a closing note. And I like to take this opportunity to thank all of the participants who've taken out time to join the session. And And we're coming up with a lot of beautiful sessions in the upcoming weeks. You will get all the notifications and information. And I'd like to request every one of you to take time and join our upcoming sessions as well. Ritu, over to you.
Yeah. Before that, I just wanted to launch a feedback poll. Please, everyone respond to that. Everyone, please respond to the feedback poll.
Thank you for actually joining in spite of your work, in spite of everything. It's good to have you all there today. Congratulations once again for International Women's Day. Keep aspiring, and more importantly, aspire for her in your life.
So as we come to the end of today's session, I wanted to take a moment to thank Ruchita Tandon for her insightful and inspiring words. Her journey and the stories she shared today are a testament to the power of mindset, technology, and collective action in the driving change. Let's remember the empowering woman is not just about individual success. It's about creating an ecosystem where everyone can thrive. Each of us has a role to play in their journey, whether it's by mentoring, advocating, or simply supporting the women around us. So, thank you all of us for joining today. Let's continue to inspire, uplift, and empower. And I wishing you a very happy Women's Day.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Shiva. Thank you, Ritu, for having me over.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
ma'am. Thank you so much.